Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to Inspirational Brands Make in India, a special series that puts the spotlight on companies that are contributing significantly to the government's Make in India mission.
Established in 2004, Fire Capital is India's first private equity fund which has redefined the concept of community living through its integrated townships and group housing projects developed in Tier 2 cities and suburbs of the metros. This real estate-centric private equity fund has created several joint venture companies to provide townships with best-in-class amenities. Fire Luxury Developers Private Limited, a flagship company of Fire Capital, aims to provide dream homes to value-seeking customers, offering villas with unmatched quality and innovation at an affordable price. A veteran in the real estate sector, Ohm Chaudhary is the founder and CEO of Fire Capital, an IIT Delhi and IIM Ahmedabad alumnus. Ohm Chaudhary started his career with a venture management firm, but soon his entrepreneurial skills and keen interest in the real estate led him to start his own enterprise. A prominent thought leader with expertise and foresight, Ohm Chaudhary is known to have pioneered the unique concept of satellite urban village, comprising large format integrated townships with residential and related verticals.
And now I'm in conversation with the man who's leading Fire Capital to greater heights, the founder and CEO of the company, Ohm Chaudhary. Ohm, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great. So let's start at the very beginning. You're someone who went to premier institutes. You studied at the IIT and IIM. What made you get interested in real estate in the first place, and did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
It's interesting, you know, from campus, I joined this company called Feedback Ventures. At that time, a very small company into venture management. A lot of our clients, the economy was opening up, diversification into new sectors was what every company, every client was interested in. And when they looked at what they could diversify into, willy-nilly they looked at their land banks and they came back and said, what can we do with these lands? And we were looking at options like theme parks, we were looking at multiplexes, shopping malls and all of those. And so we got into understanding the real estate sector. It was virgin territory, so much so that all our study tours were, in all parts of the world, and more than me, it was my wife who fell in love with real estate. On a serious note, it was what we got to understand firsthand was the tremendous opportunity that existed in the sector. The economy was opening up and the real estate sector was lagging way behind, whether it was theme parks and golf courses and residential complexes on the one hand, and on the other, things like multiplexes, etc., were unheard of. So that's what actually whetted the appetite and got me interested in the sector.
All right. And then in 2004, you established Fire Capital, which was India's first real estate private equity fund. So
that's right.
Where did that thought really come from, and what was your vision back then?
So carrying forward, so one understood the opportunity in the sector. And then what I started doing then was look at the best opportunity to play the sector, so to speak, as an investor. And serendipitously, the laws changed and private equity funds were allowed to be set up for the first time. And so went up to SEBI and said, first Indian real estate capital fund, that's where the name Fire comes from. So got started, got that approval, but what also was a realization at that time was the quantum of funding was such that it seemed but natural that foreign direct investment would be the way forward. So Fire essentially started looking at US based investors, and that's what I did, raised the fund there with a very focused objective of getting into tier 2 cities.
Right. So talking of SUVs or satellite urban villages as you call them, where all in India have you established these? What's your project plan? How many projects are in the pipeline, and what's your vision for, say, the next 5 years?
SUVs or satellite urban villages, essentially when you look at urbanization and you look at why, what is the objective of planned urban development, it's essentially looking at upgrading the living standards, the lifestyle of people in these urban communities. And so that's where it all started, saying we have an aspiring middle class that is moving to urban areas. So we said there are needs of the consumer on the one hand, and on the other there were these challenges of planning in our cities bursting at its seams. Infrastructure was a challenge. So how do we kind of bridge this? So we said, let's bring in best of breed architects and planners. So we worked with the top architects, the top 5 in the world, got them in and said, we want to build communities outside.
Spread across 230 acres, the Empyrean claims to be Bengaluru's first integrated suburban villa township. A perfect example of community living, this township is built amidst nature and pollution-free surroundings. The integrated township is planned as an idyllic green, low-rise, pedestrian-friendly and community-oriented neighborhood with over 100 acres of open and green spaces. Designed and master planned by the 5th largest architectural firm in the world, AD's USA, this township offers a variety of housing options with villa sizes from 1500 square feet to 6000 square feet at the price of an apartment. The villas are equipped with modern interior fittings and spatial layout suited to a contemporary lifestyle. An integral part of the Empyrean is its upcoming clubhouse spread across 50,000 square feet, which includes all luxury amenities along with world-class sports facilities such as a gym, courts for tennis and basketball, swimming pool, landscape gardens and children's play areas.
How self-sufficient are each of these townships that you've built in different cities?
So the one in Indore, which is the one that we started with first, has its own school, its own shopping, etc., its own commercial district. So it is a walk to work, walk to school, walk to play tennis, all kinds of the dreams that people have in terms of not wanting to commute, because that in urban cities was a big challenge. That one is a 139 acre township, which was awarded the best township award a few years ago, competing with the big developers.
So you're currently present in Nagpur, in Indore, Chennai, Bangalore. What are the cities that you're setting up projects in the next couple of months or years?
So we have city that you missed was Jaipur, which is a 650 acre development, which is our largest. But if you look beyond and you look at cities like Bhubaneswar, if you look at cities down south, Coimbatore, there are a lot of these 2 million plus cities, and now with the programs of the government, we have the smart city program, they're looking to decongest the urban centers. So those are the cities that we are looking at. Dehradun, we're looking at Lucknow, all these cities which are tier 2, so to speak, or the emerging mini metros.
And you're always planning to focus on the value housing segment only, or are there plans to get into perhaps luxury or other target consumers?
If you look at our townships, we have villas at the top end, which are 5,000 square feet over 500 square yards of land, which could be luxurious in another context, but what we try and do is offer that at the price of an apartment elsewhere in the city. So from that standpoint, it's value, and we want to continue to focus on that aspect, because that's where we think that the demand is the highest.
One of the most ambitious plans of this government is the Make in India mission. planning to make India a manufacturing hub for the world, and infrastructure is going to play a key role there. Social infrastructure is going to be extremely key to the success of Make in India. So how is Fire Capital poised to contribute? How is Fire Capital poised to really take that Make in India mission forward?
Well, actually, if I look back, we've kind of been contributing to the Make in India mission, even while that program did not formally exist when we started out. But when you look at attracting investments into a particular city, you could have great industrial infrastructure, and you could have the fundamentals could be great, but social infrastructure is very important. So, and that is something. And if I look back, when we went to Indore, back then the chief minister had this concept of Swarnim Nagari for Indore, saying that's where I'm going to attract investments, whether it is services or manufacturing, and so I'm going to make that a city which has great social infrastructure, and that's what we contributed to with our first SUV which came there.
All right, so on that note, we are going to head into a short break right now, but stay with us as we continue to explore the journey of Fire Capital on the other side. You are watching our special series, Inspirational Brands Make in India. Welcome back to Inspirational Brands Make in India. We're in Bengaluru today in conversation with the founder and CEO of Fire Capital, a company that was India's first private equity fund dedicated to the real estate sector. In an age where houses are not really being delivered on time, quality is often questionable, how are you as a brand taking these things forward? How are you ensuring quality and timely delivery? How are you building a brand that's winning customer trust?
I think what we're trying to stay focused on the basics, and the basics are: be honest, promise what you can deliver, no more, and then deliver what you've promised. But it's easy to say that, particularly in the real estate sector, having kind of been in the trenches. As a consumer, you're always saying this is wrong, that's wrong. But when you're on the other side, this is one sector which has the highest number of linkages backward, forward. You're dependent on too many people, and you're dependent on the regulatory authorities to get approvals on a timely basis. So there often exists a situation where you might have the best, intentions. And despite those intentions, there could be some spanner in the works which is outside your locus of control. And in that situation, what you need to do is stay focused on communicating with your consumers. Good news, bad news, just bring it to them. Tell them what's going on. But what you need to do is just make sure that you don't over-promise and under-deliver.
Situated at Kotewada, 18 kilometers from the 0 mile of the National Highway 7, the Imperial Nagpur is well connected to the city and is close to Mihan, a very large SEZ next to the airport. The fully integrated self-sufficient township spread across 152 acres was master planned and landscaped by the world's second largest architectural firm, AD's Hong Kong. It offers a range of residential units from villas, courtyard homes, townhouses and row houses to different types of apartments catering to the various needs of buyers. Each residential unit is based on contemporary design with well-planned interiors and use of space, fulfilling a resident's wish for an urban open feel. The Imperial provides open spaces with private courts, semi-private front space and neighborhood play areas. The Imperial also features a well-maintained club spread over 3 acres on the bank of the river Veena that has the best in-class sports and leisure experiences.
2017 was also the year of one of the biggest structural reforms for the real estate sector. The Real Estate Regulation Act came in. How has that really impacted industry, and going forward, how do you see RERA impacting real estate developers as well as projects in the future?
It's had a big impact. When you look at what it does, at the very core, it strengthens consumer confidence, and that's what is good for demand over the medium to long term. But it's had short-term challenges. Developers had a particular business model that they were following, and so that is something that has got challenged. A lot of projects, have got stalled because working capital requirements have suddenly gone up. New launches have, kind of slowed down to a trickle now. We've had the bigger developers, they had the financial flexibility to kind of get over this, and so they will. And we're going to see a lot of consolidation.
The other big challenge today is the challenge of maintaining the environment and taking care of the environment. So at Fire Capital, what sort of a focus do you have on building eco-friendly and sustainable infrastructure, and how do you ensure that all your projects are eco-friendly?
So from the very beginning, when we sat down with all these planners, we said sustainable and eco-friendly development is one of our goals. Large scale, we have the Empyrean in Bangalore, where we're sitting, is more than 100 acres of open area, and so that's a lot of area which is under trees. And we've been very thoughtful, whether it was Silver Springs in Indore or Nagpur or Jaipur. We've been very, very focused on planting the right trees, making sure that the air is pure, having very small building footprints, rainwater harvesting. We have sewage treatment plants where our endeavor is to be a zero discharge township. We kind of reuse all the water that we have, and that's very heartwarming.
Wonderful.
Another award-winning self-contained township in Fire Capital's list is Silver Springs. Developed in partnership with Indore's Mukesh Jhaveri Group, this township is located in Indore with an area of 139 acres and was designed by internationally acclaimed architects RMJM UK. Like all of Fire Capital's offerings, this township too offers world-class residences that range from villas, low-rise and mid-rise apartments to high-rise skyscrapers with best interior spaces and modern fittings. It also offers amenities and services such as a 20-acre business park, a sports complex, a 6,000 square foot clubhouse, play areas for children, indoor and outdoor game spaces, luscious green parks and shopping complexes, making it a truly integrated development.
So out of all the projects that are already operational, which one gives you the most pride?
What really gives me the greatest amount of joy is the Empyrean Bangalore, which is, it's the location is such that it's surrounded by water bodies and forests, and we've had, through our own design, created a lot of green cover. You can wake up in the morning, the chirping of the birds, etc., etc. So that's very encouraging.
Wonderful. So from here on, what's your vision for the company? Where do you want to take it over the next decade?
I think we have a good thing going in terms of focusing on the need gaps. We just want to continue doing that. There is, with the urbanization that has taken place in the country, the environment is getting impacted, people's health is getting impacted. So a lot of that we can change through the SUV concept. So we want to do this more and more and play our little role in making our urban environment more livable.
Thank you so much for being on the show today, Om. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure to be here.
Well, with that, it's a wrap of this episode of Inspirational Brands Make in India. Hope you enjoyed the inspiring success story of Fire Capital. We'll be back next time with yet another inspiring story of a brand that's contributing significantly to the Make in India mission. Till then, thanks for joining us. Goodbye.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.